Right now, somewhere in your house. You have picked up your phone 11 times in the last hour. Not because anything happened. Not because you needed to. Just because for 4 seconds, your brain felt empty, and it panicked. Now picture a man 40,000 years ago. No phone. No book. No screen of any kind. Just a fire, a cave wall, and darkness outside that could kill him. He should have gone insane from boredom. He didn't. And the reason why is about to make you feel a little worse about the phone in your hand. Boredom feels like the most modern problem there is. We built endless entertainment, 1,000 shows, infinite scroll, background noise for every silence, and somehow we are more bored than ever. People describe waiting for a bus, a red light, even the microwave, as unbearable now. So here's a question worth actually sitting with. How did a species survive for 300,000 years with none of that? No phones, no books, no music you could carry with you. Long, dark nights with nothing to do but sit. Did ancient humans have a switch we lost? Or is the truth stranger, that boredom itself is something we invented? That's what we are going to dig into. Not folklore, not guesswork. What archaeology, anthropology, and modern neuroscience actually tell us about how the brain that evolved in a cave is the exact same brain you're using to watch this video. Before we go back in time, we need to be honest about what boredom is. Because most videos on this topic skip this part and it's the whole key. Boredom isn't a lack of things to do. It's a signal. Psychologists describe it as the discomfort of an unoccupied mind that's still alert. Your brain is awake, capable, and has nothing worth its attention. It's not restfulness. It's closer to hunger, but for stimulation instead of food. And here's the part that matters. Boredom is a survival mechanism. It exists to push you towards something more useful. In a modern setting, more useful usually just means picking up your phone. But in an ancient setting, that same discomfort pushed a person towards something with much higher stakes. Checking a trap line, tending a fire, teaching a child, repairing a tool, scanning the tree line for a threat before it became one. The itch was the same. What it pushed people toward was completely different. They treat ancient humans like they were calm, enlightened beings immune to boredom. They weren't immune. Their environment simply never gave the feeling room to sit unanswered for long. There was almost always something with actual consequences too. Let's be specific about where that time actually went. Because they were busy surviving is the lazy version of this answer. A single day for a hunter-gatherer group involved a rotating set of demands, foraging, which took real tracking knowledge, not just wandering around picking berries, toolmaking, which for something like a stone hand axe could take hours of careful, repetitive work, fire maintenance, which had to be watched constantly, because losing it could mean days without warmth or cooked food, childcare, spread across the group rather than isolated to 1 or 2 people, and constant, low-level environmental awareness, tracking weather, animal movement, and threats. Anthropological studies of modern hunter-gatherer groups, like research on the Hadza people in Tanzania, suggest that actual survival labor, hunting and foraging combined, might only take up around 4 to 6 hours a day, which surprises people. It means there was downtime. The interesting part isn't that ancient people had no free time. It's what they filled that free time with. And that's where the real answer starts. Actually go through it long before writing. Stories were the internet, the classroom, and the entertainment system combined. They encoded survival knowledge, which plants were poisonous, where predators denned, how past disasters were survived, inside memorable narratives. A good storyteller held real social status, not unlike a popular creator today. The difference is a story had to be interesting enough to retell, accurately for generations. Or the knowledge inside it died with the person bone. Flutes have been found dating back over 40,000 years. Rhythmic clapping, chanting, and simple percussion appear across nearly every early human culture we have evidence for. Music wasn't a luxury, it synchronized groups, marked ritual, and gave repetitive, physical work a rhythm that made it less exhausting mentally. This one surprises people. Archaeologists have found carved dice-like objects and gaming pieces dating back thousands of years, including in ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt. Games of chance and skill weren't invented by casinos. They're one of the oldest recorded human behaviors. Because a mind that isn't occupied will invent a game out of almost nothing. Sticks, stones, marks in the dirt. Cave paintings weren't just ceremonial. Many show clear evidence of experimentation, mistakes, and revision. The same trial and error you'd expect from anyone bored. Enough to keep trying to get a drawing right. Some of the oldest confirmed cave art, like paintings in Indonesia dated to nearly 50,000 years old, show this same instinct, an idle mind reaching for something to make. This one gets skipped constantly. And it shouldn't. Physical touch, grooming, braiding, close conversation, released the same bonding chemicals in humans that it does in primates today. It wasn't just hygiene. It was one of the primary ways early humans spent unstructured time together. And it built the trust that kept a group alive. Here's the pattern in every single one of these. None of them were passive. Every single one required the brain to produce something. A story, a rhythm, a mark, a connection, instead of consuming something already made for it. Modern boredom relief is almost entirely consumption. You open an app, and something is already made for you, edited, paste, optimized to hold your attention with zero effort on your part. It works instantly, which is exactly why it's so easy to reach for 11 times an hour. Ancient boredom relief required effort before it paid off. You had to actually tell the story well, actually get the rhythm right, actually carve the piece. There was no passive version available. If your mind was empty, the only tools you had to fill it required you to do the filling. This is backed up by something modern psychology keeps circling back to. Activities that require you to create something, even something small, tend to leave people feeling more satisfied afterward than passive scrolling does, even when scrolling feels easier in the moment. Researchers sometimes call this the difference between hedonic activities, which feel good instantly, and eudaimonic ones, which feel meaningful afterward. Ancient humans, by circumstance rather than choice, were pushed almost entirely toward the second kind. They weren't happier because they were tougher. They were pushed toward boredom relief that happened to be good for them, because it was the only kind available, quick and honest. A lot of content on this exact topic falls into one of two traps. The first is romanticizing ancient life completely, presenting it like a peaceful, enlightened existence with none of the boredom, danger, or monotony that it clearly also had. That's not history. That's a fantasy with cave paint on it. The second trap is the opposite. Reducing it to life was just survival. They had no time to be bored, which is also inaccurate, and skips the actually interesting part. They had free time. And what they built with it shaped human culture. Music, storytelling, and art as we know it. The honest answer sits in the middle. Ancient humans got bored. They just didn't have a passive escape hatch. So the boredom itself became the raw material for almost everything we now call culture. So the next time you feel that 4-second itch, waiting for a page to load, standing in a line, sitting in a quiet room, that's not a modern glitch in your brain. That's the exact same signal a human felt by a fire 40,000 years ago. The only difference is what you do next. They had to make something. You just have to unlock a screen. Maybe the real question isn't how ancient humans killed boredom. Maybe it's what we are missing by killing it too easily. If you want to actually try it, no phone, no background noise. Just 5 minutes of empty time and see what your brain reaches for. I'd genuinely be curious what happens. Let me know in the comments.